You gotta play a trump card if you've got it right now.
And that's the great thing about a best of 5 is if you still have something in your pocket that you can pull up, you can bring it out and hopefully get a reverse sweep here in this series in the quarterfinals.
I feel like reverse sweep is almost a swear word this early on in this series. We'll see if they can take it game by game. But that's the thing. You're absolutely right. If they can do that, they have to take it game by game. They have to look at this one as a best of one, win this, and then move forward. Forget the rest of the series.
The thing that I want to touch on is throughout the early game, or not the early game, throughout the first game and the second game, Tribe had much easier win conditions with their compositions, and that's how they're winning the draft. The winning draft is the one that brings you out with an easier win condition, as something, a plan that's easier to execute on, and Tribe has been the team that's had those throughout the last 2 games.
Yeah, a game is not won or lost in the draft, but it can certainly give you a very strong edge going onto the fold. So with this Koshka, again, early game pressure is going to be the name of the game for Tribe.
Yeah, there's Vox, Baron still up. You pick Vox, G2 can pick the Baron to counter that. However, Baron is weak to Koshka. There's also Weapon Sky with Koshka. It's very, very strong. So I feel like Tribe will probably take the Weapon Sky here because if they don't, G2 will probably take it away.
Grace is going to be the lock-in here for Tribe. So making sure that they have that sustain for the longer team fights. And this is looking very similar to what they drafted in game number 1. We'll see if G2 can see that starting to build in front of their eyes and maybe find a different way to go against it.
Yeah, I mean, right now, obviously, it's going to be very difficult to find a composition for G2 that can deal with both Grace and Koshka. They two pair so well together, just like we always talk about the Black Feather and the Grace. The Koshka and the Grace is a very similar strategy because it's all about just jumping in with the Koshka, and then as she's trying to get away, when you start to focus her, you throw the Divine Intervention onto her, and all of a sudden you can't get a kill.
They can actually play Rhyme here. Rhyme is actually a good counter to Grace and Koshka. He can stand his ground, get a lot of fortified health, and then be able to fight Grace and Taka.
Really wants a Rhyme to come out in the World Series.
I mean, 100% win rate, right?
Pretty frequently, but
it would be very surprising just because he got nerfed so hard in 2.10. What I would say is a good pick here is Vox. It plays both against the Koshka and the Grace. If you get a Poison Shift, you reduce the heals coming out from the Divine Interventions. And Hundar, we mentioned before, he plays it very well. Looks like it's going to be a CP Lorelei potentially.
Yeah, Jungle Lorelei is actually very strong. Her Fish Food actually lasts for 8 seconds, so her clear is very strong. That's what makes junglers so good, like Koshka, etc., because they have fast clear. They're going to be really good rotation-wise.
The other thing is Tribe, when they have the Koshka, they like to pick a late-game focused carry in the lane, and the late-game focused carries are often fairly immobile, and if you put the Fish Food underneath an immobile carry, it does a ton of damage.
Jungle Lorelei is something that we actually saw Ace Gaming play earlier against Hunters in the matches coming up from Group D. They played him in the played her in the jungle and played her. Tasa picked up an Aftershock on her, very interestingly. It does seem like it's going to be also the Vox that I talked about. I mean, with this composition, it just seems like it's all about Hundor. Protect the Hundor, a very classic G2 composition, so going back to their roots once their backs are against the wall here.
Yeah, they cannot pick Baron. Baron has more range than Vox. Definitely not as strong early, but you have Koshka and Grace who are both very strong early, and Baron can carry that late game, so they can go for Weapon Sky here or a Baron is the obvious picks for Tribe at this second. With Lorelei, the cooldown Aftershock build is really good because she can actually put multiple splashdowns, which empowers her abilities. And it's going to be a weapon Adagio coming out here. Wow.
Adagio for Dienzio. We saw in the Summer Unified Championships, it was Old School and Dienzio both running this Adagio. Dienzio trying to make a statement here as they look to get themselves into the semifinals.
All right, we need to get into game number 3 of the quarterfinals here. Gentlemen, can G2 do it here? Can they pull themselves back into the series, or is this going to be a clean sweep for Tribe?
This is definitely going to be a clean sweep, but both drafts are decent.
All right.
Yeah, G2 has a solid draft here, but Tribe has just looked the better team. I think Tribe takes this 3-0.
Two for Tribe.
I'm going to stick it out with G2 just because they actually have the best draft throughout the series so far.
My man over there on the desk.
Nothing if not persistent.
2 for 1 there for Tribe. We'll see what the scoreline is going to be as they head on into the game. It's time to hit the 3rd game of this quarterfinal. It's time to see if Europe's hopes are going to die with this next game.
Europe desperately trying to stay in this tournament. Dalsy, it is their last chance. If they lose a single game more, they are going home. It's going to be an exciting game coming up. My name's Action Jackson, here with Dalsy, as aforementioned. We got an interesting draft here, actually, from both sides. A very potent one coming out of G2, but a very interesting Adagio lock-in coming at the end of that draft there from Tribe.
Yeah, so the Adagio lock-in's very classic Zio here, looking to just play that weapon power Adagio and take over with his high mechanical skill needed for that. But let's talk about G2, because that's a little bit more interesting. That Lorelei in the jungle, like mentioned earlier, it could go with the Aftershock clockwork, so you have splashdown off cooldown, water wall off cooldown all the time. Yep. Tassa played it earlier against Hunters in the day, and they dominated when they hyper carried creation. We know G2 like to hyper carry Hundor, so I'm expecting that to be the plan. Just get him that 4-item Vox build and try and run it down and take out Tribe.
Hundor has a pretty incredible Vox, to be honest. I do think that's a solid option for them, and I'm not surprised that when it all comes down to this one last game, they're trying to put him on something that can just really run away with a game.
It's very interesting because earlier, the aforementioned game, Korea versus China, it's a very much a play style difference where you have forced aggression versus calculation and late game style. Getting into this third game, we've kind of got two regions that do the same. North America very aggressive, EU very passive and try and be conservative, and you've got those play styles coming out in huge spades here. So I'm really excited to see if G2 can pull this off, because if any comp can work into this aggressive style that Tribe have drafted, it has to be this one that G2 has drafted.
Absolutely. G2 versus Tribe. Tribe 1 win away from being the first team into the semifinals at Worlds 2017. You mentioned them as a dark horse earlier on, not qualifying through the championships, being the wild card from North America, from the West. They certainly want to show up and put on an incredible performance. G2 Esports, though, the pride of Europe, the sole representative of the region, heading in 2017 Worlds, desperately trying to fight back. The early game going to be very impactful, you have to imagine, in this one. Of course, Grace and Koshka, a very strong early game duo. Are they going to look to put a lot of pressure on a G2 here?
We've been talking about a jungle Lorelei this whole time, and it's a jungle Arden coming out of Dark Potato. Very similar playstyle. It will be an Aftershock you'd feel into a clockwork type style, unless he has Tasty Bacon in mind and he wants to play some weapon power Arden. I think that would be a treat for Tasty Bacon. I'm not sure I would agree with that decision, but I think that the Crystal Power Arden is something that, you know, myself, X-Scoundrels, we kind of talked about 2.10's meta and what we might see coming out into Worlds. That was one of those really off-the-cuff picks that especially East Asia were pulling out in their games.
If we do see the weapon Arden, I better get my weapon Lyra. That's all. I mean, come on. It's got to happen. But Tribe, are they going to be able to shut down this Arden? You know, I would expect, perhaps with the jungle Lorelei, that Grace and Koshka could put a lot of pressure on, although hang on. Koshka's got to be careful. T-Tigers finds himself in a bit of a bind. Whoa. That's going to be a great plan coming down. T-Tigers, he's in a tough spot. Hundor's even here to find the backup. T-Tigers does have the boots active to get out of there, though. Ends up just burning some of G2's time.
Koshka's such an annoying hero, man. Like, you stun her down, you lock her up, you put Kitty in the corner, and then she just runs away because she's so fast. T-Tigers knows exactly what he can do with this hero, and all this time it is, of course, Dienzio pushing into the lane with that minion candy, such an influential item here at the World's Update, and oh, Dark Potato's in trouble.
Yeah, he's trying to get that camp. He doesn't actually find it. That's bad news. He needed the regeneration. Meanwhile, in the lane, Keanu Nakoa nearly going down solo to Dienzio. That means that he doesn't have the backup. Look at this. T-Tigers, he forces a flask out of the members of G2 Esports. That is a big cooldown pop for basically no investment. Tribe continuing to lay on pressure here. It's going to be a missed stun from Keanu also. T-Tigers is burning all the cooldowns.
Yeah, I know, just about escaping that one there. This turret, though, is being pressured by Dienzio so heavily. almost taking it down solo. T-Tiger's going to run away from Dark Potato here. There's almost no way
he wants to go back. What was that? T-Tigers bites off way more than he can chew, and now G2 Esports in hot pursuit. They're looking for more. Max Green, he's got to be careful. Can he get out of this one? Heal from Dienzio, buys some time, but he misses the Holy Nova. That's a kill. G2 Esports 2-0 up early in this game.
Yeah, that was a big mistake coming out of T-Tigers there. Disrespecting this Crystal Power Arden in the jungle, potentially forgetting it's a Crystal Power Arden in the jungle as well. Because of the fact that we're just so used to seeing Arden in that captain position, you can feel like you can take fights like that. Arden's a scary captain to do that into anyway because of his base damages, especially in the early game. But Dark Potato has that Storm Guard banner. He's building towards that Aftershock as well, and T-Tigers are going to have to be a little bit more respectful of this composition that G2's playing with.
He absolutely is. Tribe, even with that failed attempt under the turret there, do have a substantial amount of damage down upon it, and if they continue to siege, they will force the hand of G2, making them respond. Maybe this time Tribe not overextending so much, something to keep your eye on. That's going to be a good fish shoot there. Already the turret picked up. T-Tigers is able to walk in there, take it down, get out scot-free.
Yeah, and it's going to bring this gold difference back to even for Tribe here. G2 have been maintaining it. They've cut off. So
oh boy, T-Tigers, he wants to go in again. He has hit level 6, but a good reflex block from Hundor. Not going to be enough as Lorelei falls, though. Keanu out of the fight means Tribe has the numbers advantage. They want to keep this one rolling, slow coming through. Dienzio has a lot of damage right now. Flask popped onto Hundor. Might mean that he can turn around. Dienzio's got to be careful. Look at the damage. Hundor's actually annihilating Tribe right now. Flask bait not going to come through. Hundor smells it. Dienzio gets out of there, though.
Oh, it's Europe and their Treants rooting up North America, bringing some love over to the SCA region. You have to fear those European Treants in the jungle, supporting their team and almost gifting a kill or two over to Hundor due to that Treant root. But it is Tribe taking down Keanu Nakoa. They are looking to focus down this captain. They did so in the previous game, and they're doing it here as well. Recognizing Keanu Nakoa as a potential mental weakness of G2. This guy looks very chill in his demeanor, but has an emotional side to him that I think Tribe have been exploiting, and he's going to have to really get his head screwed on right because this composition that G2 have is just so good, and they can really start to win these mid to late game team fights. When Hundor gets to that late game stage, it's going to be very difficult for Dienzio to deal with him.
G2 Esports do not want this gold mine going the way of Tribe, but they might have bitten off a fight they can't fight here as Keanu Nakoa gets jumped on by T-Tigers. He is going to fall very quickly in this one. Dienzio is low. He's trying to take out Hundor. He manages to get the trade down. It's just Dark Potato 1 versus 2. He's got no way out of here. T-Tigers wants to come in. That's not the Lost Boy play. Tribe find themselves an ace.
Yeah, brilliant play coming out of Tribe, turning immediately onto a overextended Keanu Nakoa, who did not use his fountain whatsoever in that previous fight. They have truly got Keanu Nakoa on the back foot here, and just by some forced aggression, they're continuing to put it down. Goes down so quickly, and he just is unable to block up the Koshka ultimate as well. And from that point onwards, even despite losing Dienzio, it's clean up city for T-Tigers. And whilst it is a bit more of a scarier Arden in play because he has some damage in his kit, this kitty cat is able to clean up for the ace. Right now, Tribe Gaming are looking to snowball so heavily that Hundor never gets into a position where he can hyper carry.
But he does have that breaking point now, and if he can survive long in these fights, it could do a lot of work. T-Tigers doesn't want that to happen, though. Trying to take out Keanu Nakoa. This time, reflex blocks there. Hundor, he needs to kite backwards. He's taking a lot of incidental ambient damage from Tribe at the time being. That's going to be the gauntlet. G2 Esports want to stand their ground. Bounces coming through, but the damage not competing with what Dienzio has to offer. The first pick goes over to Tribe. Keanu Nakoa just cannot stay alive.
Yeah, the call was made there from G2 to escape, and Keanu Nakoa potentially overreaching, trying to land a fish food to catch up Tribe when they could have continued walking away from this composition. Tribe going to take away a gold miner here, AJ, and really just can solidify their position in this game, in this series as well. Hundor has got armor in his inventory as well, meaning he's going to be actually going a 3-item Vox build. Maybe he just holds on to that coat of plates for now and subs it out for a 4th damage item later, but it's not really a hyper carry Hundor if he's not building towards 4 items on the Vox, so something to care about, I think, in this game.
To be continued on that point, he's actually picked up an infusion and popped it already, so a lot of the money that he had, he's committing to fighting right now, which is actually quite curious. We'll have to see if it pans out for them. It's only a level 9 infusion. Max Green is coming in on the flank. G2's got to be careful not to overextend. No tier 1 turret available.
T-Tigers has just been focusing so hard on Keanu Nakoa here. It makes a lot of sense, really. Keanu Nakoa on this Lorelei, a very squishy target. Isn't the lowest health member, but is very squishy.
Go. T-Tigers trying to set something up again. Good gauntlet actually stunning T-Tigers up, though. That buys a lot of time for the repositioning out of Hundor. He's still quite healthy, doing a lot of damage right now. Fountain already popped, though. T-Tigers wants to turn things around. He does get the trade-off. Keanu Nakoa, he's likely going to fall. Not actually, he just barely gets out of there, but unfortunately for him, Dark Potato cannot do the damage. Keanu might escape, but 2 of his teammates have fallen. Tribe keep taking these fights. Max Green, whoa, he is close to retribution range there, but not quite.
Yeah, and this is just an issue that Dark Potato is not quite able to provide any damage in these team fights. He provides a lot of utility for now, but he is effectively playing the role of a second captain for Hundor, and Hundor needs to be getting into those damage items, yet he is prioritizing defensive here, really looking to try and sustain in these team fights against T-Tigers and Dienzio. They're getting close, G2, getting very close to finding kills in these team fights.
Might have another one of those team fights kicking off right now. Keanu Nakoa jumped on yet again. This time, though, Max Green was extremely low right off the bat. Hundor, he's focusing so hard on Max Green, but he's not dealing with the fact that T-Tigers is already on top of him. He's trying to kite out. It's not going to be enough. Dark Potato is likely to fall here. Also, one more attack would do it. How is he getting out of this one? That is the boots active. T-Tigers locks it in. An ace comes through for Tribe. North America looking to send their first team to the semifinals if things keep going this way.
Yeah, the Dark Horses from North America, the wild card dream, from challengers to unified second place to worlds, has been Tribe's journey here in North America, and it's been a fabulous one to witness. Getting closer towards that semifinals place. Very, very close, and G2 seemingly crumbling under the pressure here, not able to keep up with the aggressive plays from T-Tigers. Keanu Nakoa not quite able to be in a position where he can provide the utility he needs to on this Lorelei. That fight happening before the Fountain Fountain had refilled for him and the cooldown wasn't there.
There's a weapon infusion popped onto Hundor, but look at this. Not actually trying to back up Keanu too much right now. T-Tigers has gone quite deep. Does take a lot of trade damage back from Hundor, but it is Keanu who's been suffering the most from that one. Having a recall means an easy gold mine from Tribe.
And it's really hard for Keanu because it's so easy for us to look at him being singled out by Tribe and blame Keanu for these team fights and for his deaths, but this is a really conscious decision that Tribe are making to single out Keanu. They could be focusing down Hundor in these team fights, but they are very much focusing down this Lorelei every single time. T-Tigers looking to dive on into that.
Yeah, T-Tiger is continuing to try and make these plays happen. He does get the ultimate on the backline, but not find the stun. Hundor is doing a lot of work. He's got to keep kiting, though. First kill of the fight goes the way of Dienzio. Hundor, he's trying to kite, but he's not going towards safety. He's not going towards the base. He's going into the jungle. He's so low right now, can't do the damage. Keanu, this time, he is the last man standing, but he is going to be the last man falling as well. Tribe hunt him down into the jungle. It's an ace yet again. 13 kills to 4. Tribe want to lock things in style.
Yeah, looking to take down this choke point turret. And I think they will just make their way back over towards the jungle and finish off that Crystal Sentry afterwards. To continue on that, point that I was making, Hundo was really only the damage source for G2. Dark Potato doesn't have any damage to output in these team fights. He is effectively playing the role of a second captain here. Another Crucible has come through for him. He has shielding, he has armor in a Storm Guard banner. There's not much really to offer to the side of G2 if Hundo doesn't have the damage to output. He's going towards a Sorrow Blade now, looking to try and finish that damage build, but because of his prioritization on defense, it's not going to come through for quite some time here for G2, and time is not a commodity they have to waste, not a commodity they have to spend either. That Kraken's coming into the Hunter Halcyon Fold in just half a minute now, AJ. And Tribe are going to be in ready position to either team fight and take that Kraken or just, force G2 into a position they don't want to be.
Hundo urgently needs to pick up that next damage item. Dalsy, you're absolutely right. In a lot of these fights, he is actually surviving until, being the second member or something like that, but he just can't quite tear through Tribe's defenses.
Because of the fact that this is a hyper carry, protect the carry composition, you can't really focus the carry. You have to focus the assets that protect the carry. So that's either the Lorelei or the Arden, and that's what Tribe are doing in all these fights, is focusing either down Keanu Nakoa or Dark Potato, because Hundo's going to get shield after shield, movement speed boost after movement speed boost, but when you start to strip away that utility, then you can start to take down this Fox.
Atlas Pauldron picked up for Lorelei here. Keanu trying to give his team a little bit more space with that item. Could be quite useful, but look at this. Tribe already on the Kraken. As soon as it spawns, they are chunking through it. Dark Potato, he knows something's up, gonna spot what's happening. T-Tigers on the front line, is going to get jumped on. Hundo, he's going straight onto the back though. He wants Dienzio. The silence goes wide, only lands on the T-Tigers. First kill of the fight lands onto Keanu Nakoa. Hundo needs to keep kiting here. It's the same old story, Dalsy. He just can't do enough. That's the Holy Nova. Dienzio finds himself the kill. It's going to be an ace again for Tribe. They're quadrupling G2 Esports kills. They have a Kraken. They can go take. Dienzio can look towards base turrets, towards shoving the wave. Europe, their last hope, is really on the ropes right now.
Yeah, they certainly are, and it's been a fantastic run for Europe at this World Championship. G2 have outperformed expectations of the international crowd by taking games off these teams, off Team Kraken, off of Detonation as well. G2 have outperformed expectations, making it to the group stages here, but against Tribe, it's just such a hard task to complete, to take down this North American superstar team of Dienzio, Max Green, and T-Tigers. Dienzio and T-Tigers, we've known from so many previous live championships, get such a huge buff when they're together, and Max Green has just been a star shining so bright for them. It's all or nothing once more for G2, a position they don't want to be in.
Here comes potentially a game-ending push from Tribe. They're looking to close things out right here, right now. G2 beginning their assault on the Kraken, have it at about half health prior to the initiation here. That's going to be the gauntlet coming down. Dienzio's got to move. He gets out of there. Hundo trying to do some good work on the back line, but Divine Intervention keeps Dienzio so healthy. Hundo, he can't not do it. Dienzio is going to throw out the charm. He's going to pick up the kill. Tribe Gaming are the first team at Worlds 2017 to make it to the semifinals.
Tribe Gaming, a immaculate performance from them here in Singapore. They will solidify their chances of completing their one goal in 2017, which